Good evening, guys. I've been here this evening just doing some maintenance work on these brand new traps that I do just before I set them out. The things I do. I'll show you here. Anyway, these are all done, by the way. Let me see if I can get this. If you look at the pan, the two notches, I night latch everything. I also, if you look closely enough, that you can see that the end of the dog has been filed on an angle a little bit, so it'll grab the notch in the pan a little sharper. I bend those wires down. It keeps the coils from flipping the springs off. At least I think so anyway. And I also bend those ears up. Okay. And finally, I've started to these ears, your ears. I bend those on an angle on the loose jaw side, and I'll show you why I do that. So I'll show you what I do. Okay, a few tools you're going to need a nut driver, which makes it a lot easier, a screwdriver, a couple of files. We'll show you the other file anyway, and something just to pry the levers with, and a crescent wrench. Okay, so first thing I do is file. If you look, that's not a very good fit. It's not very flat, and it's got a kind of a burr on it. So take a file, and I'll file that on a bit of an angle, not straight. I don't file it straight, I file it on a bit of an angle. Tell if that's on an angle. Alright, that's the first thing I do. Second thing I do, take my crescent wrench, and you'll notice how straight these ears are. I'll take a crescent wrench, and I'll bend those up. I'll show you the difference. I just done one. See the difference? Okay. So bend that up. And I can take my nut driver, put it on the end of these wires. You notice how straight they are. Nothing to or coil to pop that off. Bend them down, just like so. Okay. Now I'll show you why I bend these ears or the levers. I'll set a trap without bending the lever, and then I'll set it after I've bent the lever. Okay, now, without the levers bent, these bridgers, when they're set, you notice that lever, this lever here, where there's nothing holding it down, it's not straight with that one. But if I bend these levers, that way, bend them down on the loose jaw side. That will flatten that jaw down a little more. I'll show you. Just take a screwdriver. This is the loose side, loose jaw side. In through both of these jaws like that. And I'll give it a twist. Doesn't take much. I don't know if you can see that. See how much that's twisted? It's twisted quite a bit compared to that one. That one's straight, and that one's been twisted. So we'll do the other one. Now we'll reset it and show you the difference. Now, see how straight those jaws are now? Those are almost perfectly straight across. A lot different. Now, you'll notice that this pan does not have a nut latch. In the way the pans are, the way the notches, I'll show you, but the notches aren't that great. So I'll show you the difference in that. Take this off. If you look at the notch, look at the size of that just so it fits in there. Okay. Now when I'm done, that's going to be nut latch. That's going to be squared off in there, and then there's going to be a nut latch put in. And I'll show you how we do that and get set up. Okay, let's nut latch these. All right. Remember I told you these grooves aren't the best. Okay. So we put in the vise fairly straight. Okay. Now I take my bigger file. In that notch isn't quite wide enough to get that file through, so I can square that off down in there. So I take the big file and I bear on this side. I bear filing on this side right here in that way a little bit, so my file will start sliding down and it won't take any off of the tab itself. Okay, I'm going to file a little bit here so my file will fit, then I'll take the smaller file and square that off. Now I'm not filing down, I'm going to file in. Now that should allow this file here to go down, the thinner file. And now I'm going to square off the back side of this, not here, but on the back side. I'm going to square it off a bit. Now, see the difference now? It's all squared off. Now I'm going to now that's not the nut latch. I'll nut latch that now. Takes a little bit to get used to. But once you get it started, see, that's how much I'm going to file, but I'm going to file it down about half that distance for this groove. Just take the small file just to get the burr off. then I'll just file it. Make sure I got the burrs off the side, because most of these things are punched. So on the back side of the punch, where they're punched out, it leaves a burr. So you got to get that off, because it won't. You can't adjust your trigger weight unless those burrs are off. There. That's night latch. Let me see if I can. That's how it's night latched. Okay. All right. We'll put this on, and I'll show you what it's like. So get the camera set up again. All right. Now put that back in. Now. Looks like a lot of work on these bridges, but these bridges, I really like the bridges. But this, you only got to do this once anyway, so I don't mind doing that. You see the gap in between there? We're going to get that out. You don't want that wobble. Bolt's tightened up, but that slack's not gone yet. So what you got to do is tighten this completely down. Now, there's no gap between there, and that's tight. Okay, it's tight. So lift your pen up. This is how I set mine, and just loosen off that screw until the pen wants to drop. There. A little tight. There. Just so the pen stays up now. There's less than a pound force on that. And that slack is gone. There's no slack in that no more. And that will loosen off. Okay. Now we'll set the trap. You notice the dog is in that bottom part of that groove that I squared off. Now we're going to night latch this. And I think the reason why they call it night latch is when it's quite dark, you can tell if it's set on like a hair trigger or very fine. If you didn't do that, and if it was dark, if you didn't night latch these, and if it was dark, it'd be very hard to tell how far down your pen is before the trap goes off. But these, if you listen, you can hear that click. There. Close the pen. You'll notice that pen it's setting just a tad high, but that much difference, it doesn't make too much difference. Hard to fix that. So just give that a little push in. It's pretty flat. Okay, I'm gonna adjust that a little bit more. That's a little bit high because it's higher. If you look, it's a little bit higher than this jaw. I want it to level with this jaw. Okay, so we'll adjust that. And to adjust your pen travel wherever your pen sets, all you have to do is bend this part of the frame right here. So I want that to set down a hair more. Okay, I want that to set down a hair more, so I got to push that in. All right, I'll take my wrench and I'll put it on here, this part of the frame, and I'll just bend it in just a little bit. It doesn't take much, and we'll try that again. You'll notice I went a little bit too far. Now the pan's setting way inside. So all I gotta do is bring it out about half as much as I went in on it. There. That should do it. Okay. It's pretty flat there now. Okay. Anyway, that's how I rig up my traps. I mean, I like the Bridger. It's a really nice trap. The only thing is there's just a few things I want to do to them, just so the coyotes don't tear them apart. Because of all the animals I've caught, the coyote is the one that's worse on the traps. They'll bend them all to pieces. They'll tear them apart. The springs will be gone. This will be gone. The pans can be tore off and all kinds of stuff. Springs gone. So I really like these traps, but you just got to do a little bit of work to them to get them ready. So it doesn't take long. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes to the trap. And there's also places here where they've been stamped. There's places that's sharp and you can follow those off, but usually the jaw is not too bad. That's usually pretty good. But anyway, that's what I do to my traps. As far as the chains and stuff go, okay, it's got a base plate that's been riveted. It's not screwed, it's riveted in. If you wanted to, you could put a spot of weld here and here. It's got the D-ring. It's got a nice heavy-duty swivel. It's got a real nice chain. And it's got another swivel on the end, and that swivel's rigged up for a drowner. You can use those for front leg beaver catches. Use them for drowning sets or raccoons or whatever. So anyway, that's what I use, and that's how I rig them up. So anyway. Till the next time, guys, all the best, and catch you later.